If the why is not clear, you lose motivation ultimately to do anything.
Everyone knows what they want to do, but we want to focus more on why you want to do it. You tend to stick to your workout more longer if you have a why behind why you do it, rather than I want to lose a few kgs. But why did you want to lose those few kgs? What was your intention?
Fitness is an internal thing. Mostly it's sold as an external thing and people buy into it really quickly.
Yeah, because it's easy to want that. It's easy to feel like, yes, this is what I want. I want to look this way. I would like to kind of bring out to everyone else, we shouldn't be focusing so much on how we look, but rather than how we feel.
So when everyone runs on a treadmill, the treadmill gives standard numbers, right?
Yeah.
5 kilometers, 600 calories burned. I don't think it's accurate. People get very hung up on those numbers. For someone new to Orange Theory, what exactly is the orange zone and why is it so transformative?
5 zones is kind of like the different percentages it's divided into. Gray, which is more of your resting zone. Blue is when you start warming up. Green is where you spend maximum time in your workout. Orange is where you push and you're kind of reaching your peak performance. And then zone 5, which you want to stay out of, is...
So Drishti, tell us, what made you move to India and start Orange Theory Fitness in India?
So honestly, I've had a personal journey all my life. I've struggled with weight and health issues, and I felt like this was a workout that I really enjoyed and it really worked for me. It took my focus away from how I look to how I feel, and I really feel like we wanted to shift the conversation in India and how people perceive fitness. So I think this was the best to bring to India, and that's why I decided to come here and do this.
So you were just basically someone who went to Orange Theory Fitness for yourself and thought, this is the product I need to bring back here?
Yeah, I was actually a member who worked out and actually enjoyed the workout myself. And because I loved it so much, I was so passionate about it. I was like, this is it. Like, I really want to bring this to India and like change the way people work out.
Tell me, what exactly does Orange Theory Fitness do that is so different from every other fitness program or every other gym that exists here?
So what we do best, I would say, is that we don't just focus on like traditional training. We actually focus on heart rate based training. So while you're working out, you're able to see your heart rate data in real time. And in that way, you're able to actually ensure you're training at your peak performance. You're not overtraining, you're not undertraining, you're actually training to achieve the results that you want to. So that's actually what we do special.
And that's different from everyone else. It's different from HIIT or all the other formats that exist.
Yes, there's a big misconception that what we do is HIIT, and HIIT has a reputation that a lot of people say is not good for you or like over kills your body or it's overtraining. But what we do is actually train you in the right heart rate zone. It's not about the intensity, but it's about the right intensity that you're in.
So tell me, for someone new to Orange Theory, what exactly is the orange zone and why is it so transformative?
So the orange zone is actually zone 4 out of the 5 zone training program that we have. And in the orange zone, you're at 84% to 91% of your maximum heart rate. So when you do hit that zone, your body is working at a level where you're going to be achieving an afterburn effect, or in the scientific term, we call it excess post-exercise oxygen consumption. When you do that, your body tends to burn calories for the next 24 hours without you doing anything.
But most people claim that with the workouts that they do or they make you do, that you will be burning calories after for the next 24 hours. Most weight training trainers say that. Most athletes say that once you work out, your body is still in that format for hours. So do you think that Orange Theory Fitness exclusively does that for the body compared to
Yes,
the rest?
definitely, because definitely strength training is very important for you and it does increase your metabolism. But at the same time, when you measure your heart rate, and a heart rate is a key factor and it indicates exactly like how hard you're working. So with the orange zone, you're able to kind of put metrics on that and you're able to ensure that you're pushing your body to that level. Sometimes when you work out, you don't know how hard you worked out because there's nothing to measure.
Correct.
This way you add a metric that you're able to quantify what exactly you did in the gym, and you're not like walking out being like, did I have a good workout? Did I not? Like, you know exactly where you were and how hard you worked.
But don't you think like it's all become about numbers? Everyone has a watch, everyone has a ring, everyone has a whoop, everyone's measuring perpetually, and it takes away the fun from actually enjoying your workout?
I think that it's actually as important as it is to achieve results as it is to quantify what you're doing, because I think that unless you see what you're achieving, you might think that you're doing everything you need to, but you might not actually be training yourself. And I think the numbers actually help you bring the focus more back on your health, more about like longevity. Now I see everyone who wants to be wearing trackers, they want to be tracking not just their caloric burn, but even how much sleep they're getting,
Yeah.
what their recovery levels are. Because I think we have to understand that it's more of a lifestyle rather than just like something we do as a routine.
Or like
So
a short term goal based, because that's what happens, right? People are like, oh, I've gained weight over the holidays. I want to do something and I
to
can lose
lose
that
it.
weight. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that it's more about just living it as a lifestyle and looking at other factors than just exercise or just diet, because recovery, sleep, energy, hydration, so many of these things are equally important in your health than
Yeah.
just the exercise.
Absolutely. I think sleep being one of the most important, as we see data coming, that's what I keep reading, that
Yeah.
sleep is more important than,
We
you know,
have
that extra hour of workout. If you have to get an extra hour of sleep for recovery, you'd rather take that over the extra hour of workout because your body functions better.
yeah.
But tell me, how does the science of the after effect burn work?
So how it works is EPOC, excess post-exercise oxygen consumption. Actually, what it does is when you're pushing your body to that level of the orange zone, essentially, now your body's worked so hard that it needs more oxygen to replenish the body. So it's actually getting into your energy stores in your body, your fat stores. So while it's replenishing that oxygen deficit that you created by pushing yourself so hard in that level, it's going to be burning more calories in the next few hours to be able to replenish that. So in layman's term, it's like if you shut off a car's engine, imagine the engine still running even after you've turned it off. So even after the workout, your body's still running. So that's why you're burning a lot more energy and getting that caloric deficit. And that's what helps you kind of rev up your metabolism and give you that burn that you're looking for.
So I think most people think more sweat, better workout, more sweat. The body has really, burnt the calories and done the work. How does Orange Theory change that misconception?
Well, it's a big misconception because sweat has to do nothing with how hard you're working. Sweat is just like your body regulating its temperature. I think the way we change this misconception is that we actually track your data in real time, so you're able to see exactly what you're doing. It's not about how much you're sweating, but it's literally about like where your statistics are, like if you're actually pushing yourself to the right heart rate levels and which zone you're in. So I think we switch the conversation back to like what exactly you're doing, because honestly in a workout where you're just strength training, you might not be even sweating that much
At
because
all,
you're not.
actually, sometimes. Yeah.
Exactly. So sweat has nothing to do with it. Like in fact, the when you're not sweating and you're still training for strength, you're still working the muscles and trying to build up your muscular skeletal body as
Correct.
much. So I would say that's why we always talk about shifting the focus back to the data and the statistics to see like how you worked out and how your performance is.
For people who don't know, can you explain what the 5 zones are?
Yeah, so the 5 zones is kind of like the different percentages it's divided into. So we usually have colors to keep it simple for all of us in layman's terms. So we have gray, which is more of your resting zone. Blue is when you start warming up. Green is where you spend maximum time in your workout, where it's just like it's the zone that you burn actually more fat in while retaining your muscle.
Hmm.
Orange is where you push and you're kind of reaching your peak performance. You're working with your VO2 max. You're also kind of working with your aerobic capacity. And then zone 5, which is the highest, which you want to stay out of, is the red zone, which is just pushing way past your limits. You can have a few minutes in every workout in that all out effort, but you don't need to be training that hard. And that's why we make you realize that you don't need to push yourself so much. And that's where the 5 zones kind of help you stay in the right place for what your fitness goal is. So if I'm someone who's looking to just burn fat but retain my muscle, I would really want to spend a lot of time in that green zone.
So you actually design that for every person who comes in depending on their goals?
So we have a monitor, that monitor that you wear for your heart. It helps you track it and it's personalized to your own heart rate. So everyone's zones look different because it's a percentage of everyone's individual heart rate.
Correct.
So it's very personalized. So you and I both could be wearing a heart rate monitor and both of us would be in the orange zone at a different number because our heart rates are based on our body's weight, our age, a lot of factors that play into the zone.
Yeah, absolutely. Each body reacts differently to every
Exactly.
workout, intensity, time taken. You could do this for half an hour. I could do it for half an hour, but we react very differently. So yeah, that completely makes sense. So it's good to know that each person wearing the monitor can see for themselves
Yeah.
where they're at and how much they need to stay in that zone or push harder or not.
Yes.
Right?
For sure.
Oh, amazing. So let's talk about heart over hustle. Tell me, why is tracking effort through heart rate more sustainable than chasing calorie burn numbers on a machine?
I would say because I think tracking your heart rate is like using a GPS navigation, tells you exactly where you are and where you need to go. But tracking numbers on the machine is more like a map or like signs that you're seeing on the road that kind of give you some sort of an idea of where you need to go, but it's not as accurate as like a GPS telling you exactly what to do. The machine is based more on like general parameters and metrics that are designed like on a simple algorithm versus heart rate zone training is based on your own heart rate. So the accuracy is much more. It's more personalized to you versus a machine is kind of giving the same metrics no matter who is on that machine.
Correct. That's
So it's
true.
much better.
So when everyone runs on a treadmill, the treadmill gives, very, I think, standard numbers, right?
Yeah.
5 kilometers, 600 calories burned. I don't think it's accurate. I think it's a very generalized average number.
Yeah.
And I think people get very people get very hung up on those numbers. Like, I need to burn 500 calories, for example. So they'll run that many miles. But I don't think in the end, those numbers firstly are accurate. I don't think it defines that you're actually burning those calories in the right format. How do you educate people on that factor?
I think it's very difficult, in fact, to educate people because everyone's chasing like caloric numbers and they don't realize that the machine is so generic and it's not that accurate. So it's just about bringing the conversation back to tracking your heart rate and educating them about the zones and showing them that it's not necessary that just because a machine is showing that number is that you've burned that many calories on a treadmill. It's more dependent on what effort you gave and how much your body worked. So I think it's just constantly just reminding people to not look at generic numbers on a machine and focus more on your personalized and how you feel. At the end of the day, it's all about how you feel. Even in heart rate zone training, you might be in the orange zone or the red zone, which are really hard zones that you're working in, but you might be feeling fine. So it's always more important to go about and based on how you're feeling rather than the numbers you're seeing. That's what we always have to remind people.
What made you so passionate about fitness?
I think I've struggled so much in my own life initially. I think I realized that, every time we all chase aesthetics, and I myself am one of them. Like, I used to always be chasing, like, I want to look better, lose weight, look more leaner, things like that. And I think I realized slowly during my own journey that it's so important to focus on your health. And I think I started focusing more on how I was feeling. And I realized that's what I would like to kind of bring out to everyone else. We shouldn't be focusing so much on how we look, but rather than how we feel. And just bringing the conversation back to longevity and like heart health and just lifestyle rather than how you're perceived. I mean, someone who doesn't work out might even have not so great of a health versus someone who does work out because it may not look as lean.
Aesthetically,
Yeah. They actually like, I think someone who might be like a little leaner might not even be able to do a full push up versus someone who might not be looking so perfect as
Yeah.
societal standards would be able to do so much in the gym that they could have never imagined. So
Yeah, I think that focus definitely, I hope over time changes, because the obsession with number of like the numbers, right? Weight, everyone obsesses over weight. How much do you weigh? Everyone obsesses over size. What dress size are you? But I think in the end, being fit is very important. I think that also comes with age. When you're 20 something, you can be very obsessed because you want to look like somebody you saw on a billboard, in a magazine, somebody in a movie, and you're like, that's my goal. But I think as age goes by, you'll realize that fitness is so important, because that's what keeps your body moving, and that's what keeps your body young.
yeah,
Nothing else is going to keep you young. You know,
exactly.
you might starve yourself, you might run 5 km, 10 km. I don't know. You might not do anything. You might be genetically blessed. But when age starts to come in, I think the fitness part really, really makes a difference.
Yeah, because now you're focusing on the inside, not just the outside.
Yeah, and ultimately the inside's going to count. The outside's
Exactly.
not going to count. It's not going to last.
Yeah.
For how long? And if the inside, I feel like, is worked on, like you said, the heart rate, the fitness level, if you're active in the right, and you're eating right, you're sleeping right, I think ultimately when you're 40 or 50, it'll show. That's when it'll really show that, okay, this person is actually really fit.
Yeah.
So I think the conversation, not just bring back to the heart rate or what this workout does, I think the conversation back to what fitness really means. Because I think people start to see fitness as just weight loss. You'll always
Yeah.
see gyms advertise weight
Weight
loss
loss.
more than fitness.
Yeah. That's insane how it is so true, because everyone does focus solely on weight loss. I would say a lot of people's original intention is to join a gym for weight loss, but I think everyone forgets why we really need to be at the gym. It's like for a healthier, more like longer life at the end of the day.
Correct.
So I completely agree with you on that. I think we need to bring the focus more on how we feel rather than how we look.
Absolutely. In a culture obsessed with no pain, no gain, how do you reframe fitness as heart health over hustle?
Well, no pain, no gain is, I think, a lot of people in the fitness industry's tagline in a way, because everyone says you need to go through the struggle to be able to gain what you are looking to gain. But I think that we just try to bring the conversation back to your why. Why did you originally start this? It was not because you wanted to gain a certain aesthetic or you wanted to look a certain way. I think a lot of people have deeper whys as to why they started their journey.
Yeah.
I mean, so many parents, grandparents, like come to us with a why that I want to be able to keep up with my kids. I want to be able to play with my grandchildren. So I think bringing the conversation back to what was your why, we always want to keep people more motivated, because you tend to stick to your workout more longer if you have a why behind why you do it,
Absolutely.
rather than just a simple goal of I want to lose a few kgs, things like that. But why did you want to lose those few kgs? What was your intention? Everyone knows what they want to do, but we want to focus more on why you want to do it.
I think that's beautiful, because I think anything in life, and I believe this very strongly, anything in life when has the why, is you'll want to do it even when you don't want to do it.
Yeah.
So if the why is not clear, you lose motivation ultimately to do anything. I think the why is very, 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 very important. And then that's the only thing that actually keeps us going. The right reason. And the right reason, I don't mean by right and wrong, like the right reason for you. So you questioning the why, I think, is absolutely great, because a lot of people don't.
Yeah.
Most people sign you up like, oh, you want to lose 10 kilos? Great, let's go for it. We'll make you do it in 3 months. We'll make you do it in 6 months. Some people go for weight gain, muscle gain, and they give guarantee of drinking that many protein shakes. And I've seen a lot of that, over the years. And
for sure. It's very normal.
Yeah, and I just feel like, my God, that's terrible marketing, and everyone buys into it because it's easier to understand. It's harder for people to understand that fitness is an internal thing. Mostly it's sold as an external thing and people buy into it really quickly.
Yeah, because it's easy to want that. It's easy to feel like, yes, this is what I want. I want to look this way.
Exactly. It's easy to buy into that marketing. So I
Yeah.
think if people really question, like, why are we doing this? And ultimately, I'll need this, I'll need my body. Because without your body, what do you really have? Without your health, what do you really have? Nothing.
Nothing.
You can do everything under the sun. If you don't have that, you have nothing.
Exactly.
So I think if people really start to understand that without your body, without the fitness of your body, you are nowhere, I think the focus changes.
100%. Your health is your biggest asset. Your body is your biggest asset. No amount of money can change how you feel. no amount of external validation can change how you feel. It's all about like internal, your health is what's most important.
Absolutely. Can you tell us, can heart rate training be equally effective for both elite athletes and everyday people?
Yes, that's the beauty of it. It's universally scalable. I think elite athletes can better their performance and try to work on like peak performance levels as well as peak recovery by looking at their heart rate training, versus for beginners it's more about ensuring they're not like overexerting or injuring themselves. I mean, even for athletes in a way, because they want to achieve like the amount of performance that they want to achieve, they don't want to overexert, not overtrain or undertrain. So I think even for beginners it's a good way to like have a guideline of where to start, and for athletes on where to kind of focus more on. So it's the beauty of heart rate based training is it's for all levels.
Everyone.
Yes, from young kids. Well, I wouldn't say like kids, but I would say like heart rate based training is great for like young adults just starting out into their fitness journey, as well as someone who's in their 50s or 60s who's never worked out before and wants to start working out. It's perfect for both everyone. So I'll give you an example. At our studio, we see multiple people with in all age groups. You might see a 20-something-year-old woman just working out to train her muscles, versus you might see a 30-something woman looking to lose her postpartum baby weight, someone in their 40s looking to build more muscle
Muscle.
and maintain their bone density, as well as women in their 50s and 60s who might have never actually worked out but have now recently started to adapt to wanting to do some strength training, wanting to work on their cardiovascular health, more preventative care for heart disease or cardio risks, things like that. So you see all people of all ages, and even in men, like younger men are looking to, have that aesthetic figure, build more muscle, look a little more
Yeah.
bulky.
Pump up.
Yes. Versus you'll see men in their 50s and 60s, they're just trying to maintain a healthy lifestyle to be able to keep up with their children, some to keep up with their grandchildren. You see people running next to each other on the treadmill at different age groups, or someone even just power walking next to them. That's the beauty of heart rate based training. You can bring your heart rate up in different ways.
That's
You don't
true.
have to be working as hard as an 18-year-old next to you. You can be in your 30s and be working out at a different level, but still achieving that same heart rate level. So 60 minutes is that sweet spot. You're still getting that physiology in the way you're working out hard, but you're not burning yourself. So you're getting your burn without overburning.
Burning. Yeah.
And to train all aspects of the workout, we do treadmill and rowers. That's working more on your cardiovascular health. On the strength floor, you're using weights and other resistance equipment to work more on building strength. And overall, you're working on endurance and power by playing with the amount of reps you're doing, or how many sets you're doing, or just how often you're switching in between stations, like your levels of recovery versus your levels of performance, if that makes sense.
So, in the 60-minute workout, you make sure that everyone goes through the endurance, strength, and cardio at the same time, and every time they come in.
Yeah, so every day is different. Some days are focusing a little more on power, maybe. Some days are focusing more on endurance or strength, maybe. But usually, every 1 hour workout takes you through different equipment, whether it's treadmills, water roars, strength floor. You're basically trying to ensure that you're getting a total body workout and working different aspects of your body.
What's the biggest mistake people make in structuring workouts on their own?
That's a good one. I think on our own, we tend to avoid and not do what we don't like to do.
Yeah, that's true.
So there's no
If
balance.
Yeah, if I don't like bungee jumpings, I'm not doing them on my own. But if it's a part of a workout, you'll end up doing them.
Yeah, because you're seeing everyone else around you do it.
Yeah.
And it's also structured in a way where your coach is requiring you to do it. But if you're structuring your own workouts on your own, sometimes you skip out on things like something so simple like mobility, stretching. A lot of times we're in a rush. We're like, I gotta go. Let
Yeah.
me finish my workout, and we bounce. We skip out on that. If I don't like to run, jog, I don't like cardio, then maybe I'll be skipping out on that. So when you're doing your workouts on your own, a lot of people make the mistake of just skipping what they don't like. That's what I've noticed.
Yeah, that's true. I would agree. I would do it too. Yeah, like if I'm on my own, I might miss out on the stretching, like you said, the cool down
Yeah.
in the end, because you're just running and you're like, forget it, I'll do it tomorrow.
Yeah.
And you don't end up doing what you don't like. Yeah.
Exactly.
So I think formatting really helps. I think working out in a group really helps. Tell me the difference between working out solo and working out in a group in a gym.
I think the group just brings the energy. You're seeing the person next to you push, you want to push too. You might come into the workout feeling like, oh, I'm not in the mood today. But the moment you see the group energy and you see everyone else motivating themselves, you automatically feel motivated. We always like to say that you're working out for yourself, but not by yourself, because you're there for yourself, but the energy of the group, the motivating environment actually pushes you to push yourself more.
Yeah. And also, if you see historically, we've always learned in groups, right? We go to school in a group. We always learn a language in a group. We learn everything in university, we're in a group. Everything is in a group.
Because you thrive in that energy.
Yeah, because learning is always happening in a group. Is easy to keep your energy there. It's easy to keep your attention there because you know it's a group. When it's alone, it's very hard for 60 minutes to stay concentrated on anything.
100%.
I think that's why working out in a group, working out in a class, doing things together with people changes the way you do it. You're not really focused on picking up that weight. You're looking at everyone else. I don't know. Sometimes you could be like, oh my God, her hair looks really nice. You could be like, I like that set she's wearing. I think I need new clothes. Sometimes like it helps that you're not focusing on the weight that you're carrying. For example.
Yeah, it's a big
You know,
distraction.
yeah, it's a big distraction. And then you have conversations flowing and then someone's struggling. You're like, I'm struggling too. But then you're going because somebody else is going. So I think in general, like we function better when we do things with other people. So I think if we put that in fitness as well, it just works out better. That's why in sports, people don't get tired.
Yeah.
We know when 11 people or 10 people on a field and they're running for like 4 hours, but that spirit of the game
is pushing.
Yeah, it's
because you're
pushing them.
motivating each other.
If they were to, yeah, if they were to do that 4 hours in the gym by themselves, they couldn't have
Never.
done it.
Yeah.
So I think it
The
really
community
helps.
really builds that consistency.
Absolutely.
And I think that consistency is so hard to build enough that the community actually motivates you to push through.
I
That's what I
completely
say.
agree. If someone can really commit to 3 classes a week, what kind of results can they realistically expect out of Orange Theory?
I would say that's amazing. 3 classes is all you need. I think that's a sweet spot. You don't need to spend hours in the gym killing yourself every single day. 3 to 4 times a week in Orange Theory is all that you need. You actually will be able to see your body changing especially in the first few weeks. You'll be able to see your fat metabolizing. You'll be able to see a lot of like body composition changes. But beyond what you look, you'll be able to see more energy levels, better sleep patterns, and just overall like more endorphins, feel good feelings. So I think that you'll be able to see a lot of changes with just 3 classes. That's all you need, honestly. You don't need to push yourself more than that.
Yeah, because people believe that you need 6-7 days of gymming to actually look fit, to be a certain weight. I see a lot of advertising nowadays that every day you need to do, that much workout to stay a certain way.
Yeah.
I think that's also a myth, right?
100%. You don't need to be working out and slogging yourself or killing. Like what we say, 3 times a week, but good quality is better than working out 6-7 times a week and overtraining. That's actually going to do more harm to your body than doing more good. It's better you do work out 3 times a week and give it your best and not be feeling lethargic on the other days versus like if you're overtraining, you're going to be pushing yourself too much.
So we spoke about how people come into gyms or come into training programs very aesthetically driven. How do you help them move from that to actually fitness level goals?
I think we focus a lot on other aspects besides the fitness. We focus so much on community building. We focus so much on celebrating milestones and personal records, personal achievements. So even just something as simple as finishing 100 classes, we celebrate that. We also celebrate whether you beat your personal record in, say, how much weight you lifted a month ago versus today, or how fast you ran a mile last month versus this month. So I think those are the different milestones that help people focus on how they're bettering themselves and achieving more besides just how they're looking or what the number on the scale is.
How do you explain long term health goals to people? Because fitness is all about long term health goals, like we discussed. When they come in, how do you explain that to them?
I think we ask them, we pose the question back to them. Why are you here today? And again, what is your why? The why is when you establish your long term health goal. Because a lot of times when you come in with short term health goals, you don't really have a reason to stay committed for the long term.
Yeah, correct.
So
You wouldn't.
you just want to like push them to realize what they're looking to do with their lives, and that's how we build the conversation back. But I think it's a lot about just educating someone about their overall lifestyle and slowly getting them into the habit where it becomes more of an afterthought and it just becomes a lifestyle for them and consistency. So I think a good example of this is we've seen so many moms, they come in initially just to lose that postpartum weight, but they become so addicted to the workout and they enjoy how they feel after it. It becomes their stress buster or energy booster for the day, that even after they've lost their initial postpartum weight that they came in for, they stick around because now it's just part of their lifestyles and they feel like, as we call it, it's an orange therapy for them rather than their orange theory. It's that 1 hour of therapy that we need to just sustain our lives now, being able to handle the kids and also be able to feel good every day.
Yeah, because workouts are therapeutic.
Exactly.
Whatever said and done, fitness is therapeutic. And if people start seeing it like that, it makes it a lot easier to do it. Because we all have so much on our plate, right? Everyone has so much going on. You have your kids, you have work, you have home, you have
Family.
responsibilities, you have yourself to take care of. So I think any sort of workout, any sort of fitness routine really is a stress buster. Do you think the conversation around body image has changed in India in the last few years that you've been here?
Yes, the conversation's definitely changed in India about body image, and people have become way more self accepting of themselves. It's no longer about looking thin or looking lean, it's more about how you feel. And I think everyone's becoming more and more comfortable with their bodies. We're not looking at celebrities and trying to achieve those goals because I think everyone now is realizing more and more it's about,
Health.
yeah, and it's beyond that. It's also about like post-COVID world. I think a lot of people have focused more and more on how their bodies are doing and how they're feeling. So the conversations change for sure. So definitely the mindset has truly shifted in India. I would say before it was more about weight loss and that's why we joined a gym or just looking better.
Yeah.
But now people are so much more into the running a 10K, running a marathon, or even like those races that we have, like High Rocks now has taken up so much popularity. I feel like social media has made us actually become more self-accepting in a way. I know a lot of people think social media adds a lot of pressure, but in reality, there's also a lot of conversation about accepting ourselves in the way we are and feeling comfortable in our own skin. So that perception of body image has definitely shifted in a positive way in the last few years.
Yeah, I agree. I think the social media also helps us in the way when we see so many workouts, we see people, in gym wear, even though it's advertising for gym wear.
Yeah.
When you see so many posts like that, it kind of makes you feel like I want to go and do that because it looks fun.
Yeah.
It's advertised in such a way it looks fun. It's not advertised in just a weight loss kind of way anymore. It's advertised as more fun. If you see gym videos, you see gym adverts, they all look like come and have fun, build a community, come and be a part of a community. And I think that really helps.
And I think it also shows people with different body types. So you feel more comfortable in your skin wanting to go to these places and being able to start working out with different kinds of people.
That's
So
true.
it makes you accept the way you are way more.
Do you think mental health plays a role in the fitness world?
I definitely think mental health is a big part of the fitness world because a lot of people actually only work out for mental health. There are people who want to be able to deal with their lifestyles,
Yeah.
deal with their stresses, and that's why exercise is a big part of their lifestyles. It really helps those feel good hormones, those endorphins post a workout. And I think that a lot of people now don't work out because of the physical, but more of the mental. So it's definitely a huge part of it.
Do you work out because of the physical or the mental?
I work out because of the mental more than the physical, I would say now. At this point in my life, as I like to call it, orange therapy, it's more of a therapeutic feeling post workout rather than just, oh, I did it, a checklist off my day.
Yeah.
It's more of, I enjoy it.
Tell me, how does accountability and community spirit affect not just attendance but actual results?
I would say accountability and spirit actually pushes you to not just show up, but to give it your best because you're seeing others around you give it your best. So you want to do what you see everyone else around you do.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you practice anything besides Orange Theory Fitness?
Yeah, I actually like to partake in a lot of different workouts. I do Pilates as well myself. I really enjoy yoga. I also dance, but I would say it's always it's always important to do what you enjoy. It's not just doing something because it's the right thing to do. Yeah, I definitely do a lot of Orange Theory, but I also like to switch up my workouts because I actually genuinely enjoy doing other things like Pilates. I love yoga as well as I like to dance. I do feel like it's just important to do what you have fun with. As much as I love my usual strength and cardio workouts, sometimes I like to mix it up, and I feel like everything is complementary to each other's. There's no right way of doing anything.
Yeah,
Every
there
kind of
isn't.
movement is movement, and activity is what you need in your life. So there's no one right way. I like to involve every type of fitness in my routine.
Where do you see Orange Theory Fitness going in India in the next 5 years?
In the next 5 years, we aim to definitely open in many more cities and transform many more lives. So we hope to have multiple locations and try to give an impact wherever we can.
So, how do you think you stand out in terms of what you help people achieve? Because a lot of gyms provide a lot of programs, right? There are a lot of classes like dance, Zumba, Pilates, HIIT. Gyms nowadays give you this whole package, 7 days, seven different classes, seven different workouts for your body type. How do you think you guys stand out? How do you think you are different and what you're offering is absolutely exclusive?
So I think what we're offering is very exclusive in many different ways, but I would like to say it's like a multivitamin. What we give you is a multivitamin that you just need to take a few times a week to live your best life. You don't need to be engaging in multiple programs 7 days a week. What you need is your basics right. What we want to focus and what we do focus more on is your strength and your cardio, which is that multivitamin that you need your body needs to just live healthier. What we also I think focus more on is training you from the inside out, and that's what sets us apart. We're not pushing you to try different things. Just do the same thing. Keep your focus strong and just really perfect what you're doing. And that's why we don't have all these multiple offerings and we don't try to like give you a whole platter of all the different things you could be doing because we
Yeah.
feel like at the essence, the core of fitness, you this is what you need and that's exactly what you're giving you.
It's not a buffet. It's
No,
very tailor made, and
it's very niche.
it's very niche. And I think it's very specific.
Yeah. And you realize when you do it that that's all you needed.
Okay, I think I have to sign up for a class this week. Do you
You need to
think the
come.
future of fitness is less about individual workouts and more about collective shared experiences?
I definitely think the future of fitness is going to be more about social and story driven, more experiences that are more inspired with people around you. COVID really taught us that we crave connection as much as we crave the results of a workout.
Absolutely.
It's very easy for us when we were doing those online workouts. We definitely enjoy them and they're just as effective. But the feeling of being around people and that connection that you crave of meeting like minded individuals or those who are enjoying the same thing you are hits different.
It
It's
does.
very different from working out alone. So I think the future of fitness is going more towards group classes and picking up where people are more inspired and motivated by others.
Yeah, I think community building is happening a lot in the fitness space, and the more and more I see, classes, gyms, or programs that are coming out, they are community based, and I think not only does it help you physically get out, I think there are a lot of people who may not be working, who may be single moms, who may be stuck at work. They may not have time to make friends. I think it also gives you a space to connect to people.
Definitely.
Because that's when you really don't have an agenda. You don't come to a gym with an agenda. You might go to a party, a conference, a meeting with an agenda. You have to be a certain way. But I think when you come to a gym, you're just yourself. You're so casual.
And it's
And
organic.
yeah, exactly. So in that space to connect would really help you connect and de-stress.
I definitely agree with that. I think the gym also goes beyond what you're doing in the class, but those connections outside. We see our members literally going for coffee right after a workout, or even like bringing cakes for each other's birthdays, and everyone's trying to be healthy in the gym. But at the end of the day, everyone wants to celebrate each other because we crave that human connection and that emotional connect that they've built with fellow members inside the community.
What has been your biggest Orange Theory fitness success story?
So I think some of the biggest success stories is a woman came in working out with a pacemaker and still wants to improve her heart health, even despite having a pacemaker to sustain her life. And even someone else who was at 200 kgs coming down to about 100 kgs
Wow.
by just simply working out with us, truly transforming how they feel and got rid of all their medications, normalizing their cholesterol levels, sugar levels, pretty much all the health conditions that he had. He reversed everything and got off all his medication. So we have multiple success stories like that where people just transform the way they live and just transform their lives and make it a part of their routine.
That's beautiful. Can you tell us what were your biggest challenges in bringing such a big global brand to India?
Whew. Challenges are many. I would say the number one challenge is the market size for fitness is not as mature here. It's not as established. So a lot of education is needed to educate the market on like the importance of fitness.
Yeah.
Further, there's less penetration as well. Even though the people who have a lot of knowledge, they're not as willingly ready to invest. Our brand is not very price sensitive like the market is. We're more value based. So we kind of position ourselves as a premium and niche brand. And that's also a challenge that we've had to overcome because not everyone's used to seeing fitness in a luxury or a premium category.
It's changing though, because wellness is becoming luxury now.
Yeah. But I think it's also changing people's mindset to invest that money towards wellness and fitness rather than a nice dinner or going out on a vacation because
Yeah.
priorities are different here. So I think that was a big hurdle that we've had to overcome is changing people's mindset shifts.
How did such a big global brand trust you to bring it to India? Because India is a very large country, it's a very big market. And I know the West sees it as different, but as a very big opportunity. How did they give it to you and why?
You know, I wouldn't be able to answer why the global brand trusts me, but I think the success of Orange Theory lies in its people. The science stays the same, but the people is what makes the brand what it is. And I think they truly probably, I'm assuming, trusted my vibe, trusted my intention and my passion. Given that I was someone who believed in the brand, worked out with the brand myself, I think they truly valued that I'm a real person with a real success story. So I really wanted to bring my passion out to the world. And I guess that's why they trusted me with the brand and believe in me to be able to have all of India feel the same.
That is so inspiring because, like you said, you didn't have any background in this stream. You don't really come from a fitness background or
Not at
anything, or
all.
not someone who owns gyms.
Yeah.
So to be able to, walk up to such a big brand and say, "Hey, you know what? I want to do this, and I now live in India. I want to bring it to India. It doesn't exist here." With that conviction and actually make it happen, I think it's applaudable.
Thank you. I think it's also the knowledge of having of two different countries. I think that's also something that probably pushed them to feel like it's really hard to be able to understand two cultures
Yeah.
and still maintain the originality of the brand while navigating a new cultural and new market and the way people think here. So
Yeah, because it's different to every other culture.
exactly. And I think we as Indians, we have a lot of set beliefs that we want to educate people about and like break out of like old mentality. Like I've seen so many, like my grandparents always say, oh, just go for a walk. That's enough fitness. But like teaching them the importance of beyond going for a walk, as great as that is, even adding strength training into your routine. These are cultural barriers that we have to break because it's a mentality that we've had for so long.
Yeah, it's true. I've heard that from my grandparents as well. Just a walk is enough. I don't know why you go to the gym so much. It's not required. Why do you spend so much time doing this? It's not required. All we used to do, we used to just walk.
Yeah, or do some yoga in the house,
Yeah.
things like that.
But you know, their lifestyle was so active in general.
100%.
They were not tied to desks like we are. They ate very clean. Our food is not as clean as organic as we'd like to believe. It isn't. It
Yeah.
isn't what it used to be 30 years ago. So I think the composition of the body changes, right? Is we're sitting a lot, we're eating different to them.
Agreed.
And that generation finds it hard to understand
yeah.
because they have worked in a certain way and they think that's right.
And then in our lifestyles being so sedentary now,
Yeah.
we need it way more than they needed it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And it's also a happiness factor.
Yeah.
Can you explain how fitness actually is a huge happiness factor in our lives?
I think fitness as happiness is very personal. And I think that everyone has their own definition for it. For me, after every workout, it just makes me feel good. And that's the happiness that it adds to me. I would love to hear from you. What do you feel about
Yeah, I think so. I don't think happiness is a goal. I think happiness is a process. And I think, like when I play a sport, I play sports quite a bit. When I'm playing, for me, that's the happy hour. Like the
Mhm.
hour I'm playing is the happy hour. I don't think when I finish, I'm like, oh my God, I'm so happy. I don't think that's what happens. But when I come back and let's say my husband or my son is like, oh, how was your game? And I'm like, really good. And I look back and I see that how happy I was doing it. So I think the hour or the time spent in that fitness zone, wherever you're doing it, whichever format you use, you should be happy doing it. I think that's happiness.
I agree with you. I also think it's a sense of achievement, right? That you fulfilled something that might have been hard for you a few months ago.
Yeah.
And now you've accomplished that. It gives you a sense of achievement, a sense of accomplishment. And I think that also helps you feel happy in a certain way.
And motivated.
Exactly. You
Yeah.
achieve something that you never thought you could.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I think that really, really does change. Yeah.
It adds a big sense of fulfillment.
Yeah. How do you adapt a fitness, Western fitness model to the Indian cultural attitudes?
So I think it's not about changing the workout. The workout remains the same. It's about adapting to the Indian environment. For example, in India, we love hospitality.
Yeah.
So I think our team, and I love my team, they're actually very warm and very welcoming to all the people that are coming to the studio because I think our Indian culture really values that. And in fact, I've had members from studios from outside of India come to our studio and leave us these Google reviews saying how they've never been to an environment that's been so warm
Oh, wow.
and so welcoming because they've truly enjoyed their experience in the Indian hospitality. So I think we are trying to do a good job on bringing like our coaches and our team to build an environment where everyone feels welcomed and secure to be able to be comfortable while working out, while keeping the workout the same and staying true to its essence. So I think a big reason for the success of Orange Theory is that even though scientifically it stays the same, the people is where we focus more on, and we focus on how to build a good community.
What did you personally learn from this journey about yourself, about leadership qualities and resilience?
I think resilience is a big one, like you asked about. It's that you're going to have your highs, you're going to have your lows. I always thought it was going to be easier than it's been. And I think that goes for any entrepreneur. The journey is not easy.
Yeah.
But I think that you have to just remind yourself your why. Like the same way you remind yourself of your why you started a workout, I have to remind myself the why I wanted to bring this brand to India. So I have experienced my highs, I've experienced my lows, and I think I've learned that you have to push through with the original reason why you started, and that passion is what I keep reminding myself. But I think a big learning in this has also been that you're no one without your team. Your teamwork makes your dream work, and I'm very grateful for the people that support me in my teams to make sure that they also believe in the vision, and I believe they're all equally passionate about what they want, why they're here as well. And we just try to have fun and make it an enjoyable workspace, and I think that translates to our members.
It would.
Yeah,
Whatever energy or the intention you have, you put that into your business, it creates that environment.
exactly. So
Yeah.
I think our members, in fact, have fun with our team. Like, they're always inviting our coaches out to dinner. They're always wanting to go out and do like fun runs together, go for a coffee, because I think we work not just as a company and its clients, we work as a big family. All of us are kind of in it for each other, to support each other.
People have to train in your program to become a trainer at your gym.
So we actually have multiple levels of certification. To be a coach at our studio, you need to have some sort of fitness certification, which is provided by different fitness certification brands. But on top of that, we do have you go through our own certification, which is an Orange Theory certification.
Yeah, I would have thought as much.
Yeah. So usually most of our coaches are actually dual or triple certified, because not only do have the actual exercise physiology knowledge that they've learned, they also go through another round of training with us.
Do you think India is ready to invest in preventative health rather than reacting to illness?
Yeah, I think more and more the conversation is shifting towards preventative care rather than reacting to an illness. I believe COVID really changed that for us a few years ago. More and more people got aware about what they need to do. But even lifestyles, I think consumer food tastes are changing. People are becoming more conscious about what they're eating.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're not just eating, we're looking at oil that we're putting into our food. We're not just eating like always in this typical manner that our generations have been. We're becoming more focused
Aware.
on the smart switches you can be making in your kitchen. And I think that that shows a lot about all these up and coming brands that are bringing healthier alternatives, that our mindset is shifting because more and more people care about what they're doing in their lifestyles.
Also, I think the huge advantage lies here that we're a very young population. And if the generation that already is there is into fitness now a lot more, the next generation always apes the old one. So it's a no-brainer. Like they're gonna think of it as a part of their life.
Definitely.
Like today, you might be selling the concept. 5 years, 10 years down, you won't have to.
I agree.
Yeah.
I think I'm a little premature in the market because our fitness industry is not as mature as it is out in the West, because there's a lot of lack of education that we face in India. But I also think that the new boom of wearable technology, everyone's wearing all these devices to track their not just fitness, but just sleep, heart rate, everything
Yeah.
overall. I think that's also making us more and more aware of preventative care, because everyone's trying to ensure they're living their healthiest life by tracking everything that they can.
Do you track anything?
I do actually. Somehow I'm not wearing my trackers right now, but usually I do track like sleep and recovery, because I feel like that's just as important as my workout and my diet is, and it really has an impact on your day to day.
Oh yeah,
Do
absolutely.
you track anything?
No, I don't.
No data for you.
No, I don't believe in tracking every little thing,
Yeah.
noting down every little thing that's happening, because I think, and I'm completely no one to
Yeah.
like
Bash.
follow.
Yeah.
This is just me. It's
Yeah,
a very
it's very
personal thing.
normal.
Yeah, I just don't believe in tracking everything. I feel like we are already in a world where everything has become numbers.
Devices.
And I just feel like my body doesn't need to be a number. Like, let it just be. As long as I feel good, I wake up fresh, I'm able to work out, I'm able to go play a game, I'm able to work through the day, sleep well, I consider myself okay. The days I'm not, I obviously think that probably I'm underslept, I haven't eaten well. I try and figure out for myself, but
At the
I
end
don't
of the
necessarily track anything.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, I would say you're on the right track because you're seeing how you feel. And
Yeah.
that's way more important than any trackable device and what it's telling you. It's always go by how you're feeling. I would say that you're on the right track.
Yeah, I think a couple of years ago I did buy a tracker. I think I wore it for a week, and then I said to my husband, "We have this phone that we're tied to. I don't want to be tied to another device. I just don't." So I think for me the reason is very different.
Yeah.
Not saying it's good or bad. Just
Yeah.
for me, I feel like I don't need another device in my life.
No, I agree. I think, look, both of it has its pros and cons. I also feel like someone who's very maybe sedentary and lethargic, that tracker might, in a good way, be
Push
pushing
them.
that person
Yeah.
to get up and get moving because they
Yeah.
kind of get a reality check of, hey, I'm not really active and I'm not living a great lifestyle, and this is why I need to get moving. A funny example is that I bought a tracker for my brother-in-law, and a week after he wore it, he gave it to me, being like, this is making me feel like so bad about myself. I don't want this. I feel like I'm doing nothing right. So at the same time, I did tell him, I was like, this is
A reality check.
yeah, like get moving, become more active. But at the same time, I think I agree with you that you don't want to be so dependent on it. Striking the right balance is
Yeah.
key. If you're going to be very obsessed with your numbers, then the tracker is not for you.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I just think that if you really need it, like you may be living in denial. I sleep very well, I eat really well, I work out really well, but you don't.
Yeah.
So it may be a
gives
good
you
motivation and a reality check. But I think if in general you're quite aware of how you live and you want to live a good life, then I
Then
don't
it's
think,
fine.
yeah, you just don't need to be tied to another device. But I think
I
it's very
agree with
personal.
you.
It's a very personal choice.
Yeah, I think I support both sides and I totally agree with it.
Yeah.
Everyone has their own reason.
If you could break one myth in India that people hold against fitness, it holds them from starting, what would it be?
Wow, so many myths to break. But I would say the number one myth is that you have to be fit to start. Like, no, you're here to start because you want to be fit. A lot of people feel they need to be at a certain level because they feel like, oh, I'm going to embarrass myself or I don't know how to do something. All you have to do is show up and just start the process. It's never too late. So I would say that is, for me, the number one myth to break. Secondly, I would also say a lot of women and men have different myths based on gender.
Yeah.
A lot of women are so shy of strength training because they feel like they're going to get bulky.
Bulked up, yeah.
Or they think that they need to do hours of cardio to lose weight, which is not true. I think that right balance is what you need. So, strength training is so important for women. It really helps your bone density, especially when you're aging and your muscles.
Absolutely.
So that's a myth that has been hard to break as well. And I think for men on the opposite spectrum, a lot of them really shy away from cardio because they feel like they're going to lose their muscle gains. But cardio is equally important. And forget the aesthetics, it's so important for your heart health and just your cardiovascular longevity. So that's a big myth that I really like to bust. Because the amount of men that walk into our studio and they say, oh, this is not for me, this is too much cardio, but they don't realize the importance of it.
I agree. I think I see most men saying they only do strength training because that's what men should do. Yeah, it is a myth. It's absolutely true.
I think gender stereotypes is something that is tough to break because everyone has the so innately built in them. They don't realize like I believe this because I'm a woman or I think this because I'm a man. It's something that they need to realize is beyond gender. Fitness is for all genders.
It is. It is for everyone.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
all age groups, all types of people. So I definitely think that we should be remembering that.
So, Dishi, I'm going to ask you a question that I ask all my guests. If you were to introduce yourself to me without mentioning your occupation, where you're from, your ethnicity, or your hobbies, how would you describe yourself to me?
I would just describe myself as someone who wants to feel good and also make others feel good about themselves, whether it's emotional, mental, physical. I just want to radiate like a good energy so someone feels like they feel good. I would say that's ultimately who I am as a person. And I feel like that's had an impact. So many people have given that to me that I want to give that out to others.
How beautiful. Thank you, Drishti, so much. This was an epic conversation. And I
Thank
hope
you for having me.
Thank you. And I hope people understand the importance of fitness. And I hope people take the right things away from this conversation today.
Thank you so much for having me. And now I would like to have you at Orange Theory to experience a workout with us. Because I always like to say Orange Theory is better experienced than explained. So you truly won't understand it until you experience it yourself. And I would love for you to come.
Great. I think I'm going to come this week.
Yes, I'll see you soon. Hi, I'm Drishti Chhabria, the Chief Experience Officer of Orange Theory Fitness in India. For me, fitness isn't about chasing numbers, it's about building energy, balance, and confidence that carries through everything that you do. On the human thread, I talk about the link between movement, mindset, and everyday strength. Subscribe and let's grow stronger together.